Welcome back to another episode of Doc Lil Talks Comics, guys. And today we have a greatest hits video talking about Silver Surfer number 3. Yes, this is a facsimile edition of Silver Surfer number 3, which was written by Stan Lee with pencils by John Buscema and inks by Joe Sinnott. This is the first appearance of Mephisto, Marvel's version of the devil. And he comes up against the Silver Surfer because the Silver Surfer has a crisis of conscience. And he tries to save this woman, and instead he's met with guns and violence and threats and intimidation. And he says, I have the power cosmic, so an all-enveloping series of cosmic bursts shall bring civilization to a standstill. Every corner of the globe, power will cease, machines will fail to run, all the lights will dim as the gathering darkness enshrouds the earth. As he's going through this crisis, then Mephisto says, he calls up one of his hairy little, demons, I suppose. And he says, I need to see what is happening on the planet of Earth. I need to know. And I gotta say, even after all these years, that is one imposing vision of Mephisto. The power of John Buscema, Big John Buscema, cannot be understated. The way that he carries his characters, the way that they move, and have all of these different, Mephisto most of the time kind of covers himself with his cape, so that, you can't see his face. But he knows the Surfer's weakness, and the Surfer's weakness is Shalabal, and he would do almost anything to be with Shalabal again. So Mephisto travels to Zenla, captures her, and then uses her as a pawn. And he shows Shalabal to the Surfer. And the Surfer says, no matter who it is that brought us back together, they cannot be an enemy. They can only be a force for good. And Shalabal says, no, I'm a hapless decoy. I am your love, but someone is trying to use that love against you. And in the end, Mephisto takes her back to hell. And the Surfer is willing to travel even to someone else's dimension. And finally, the Surfer says, why are you doing all this? And this here is why it's one of the greatest hits. He says, why are you doing all this? And Mephisto says, your courage, your purity, your lack of malice pose an intolerable challenge to me and to all that I stand for. Now, for the first time in ages, my dominion over Earth grows each and every day. And the Surfer says, but you never will achieve full victory. And he says, I will. I've waited too long to be thwarted again. And he says, as long as I can appeal to man's basest instincts, to his greed, his envy, his hatreds and aggression, his fear and distrust of his fellow man, then Mephisto can reap the final eternal reward. And so they go back and forth fighting with each other. He offers Silver Surfer gold and treasures beyond what anybody on the planet has. And eventually he says, well, if you fancy this woman, then here, I give you 3 of them who are the most beautiful creatures that you've ever seen. And the Surfer says, no. And Mephisto says, I see that you're unmoved. Never could Mephisto comprehend the strange emotion that men call love. And so eventually he sends a bunch of different creatures after the Surfer. And the Surfer takes them out one by one by one. And eventually Mephisto says, I have till now but toyed with you. And he ends up sending these amoeba-like things towards the Surfer. And they kind of wrap him up in almost like a black void. And eventually Mephisto says, I could keep you there for all time. But he says, I choose a third alternative. I shall reduce you to a random thought. So he puts him inside of his head. And the Surfer's goodness still from inside, still seeks to affect Mephisto. And he won't let that purity go. He won't let that purity of thought, that oneness of peace, of tranquility with mankind. He won't let that go. And so eventually you get to see the server and Shalabal are separated again. And Mephisto says, this is one of the strongest characters, strongest, people that I have ever come across. But eventually Mephisto will win. And the colors in this book, it just makes it pop. Everything about these old Silver Age Marvels, these facsimile editions, man, they're just great. I like the old ads that you get. You get the same book with the same type of ads that you would have seen back in the day. But this, amongst other issues, is the one that shows what is in the heart of the Silver Surfer and shows his never say die attitude, so that you can see that even against somebody as powerful as Marvel's version of the devil, the Silver Surfer will travel to hell in order to try to protect humanity, reclaim his lost love, and then find some sort of peace within himself and within humanity. So, did you guys pick this up? I can't wait till issue 4. That's the one where Sal Buscema comes in to ink his big brother, and it's got a battle against Thor. Now, with me having to save money after buying that ASM 1 and other things, and then my hours getting cut, I am going to stop with the facsimiles for the series after issue 4. But it's Thor, man. It's Thor. It's John Buscema, Sal Buscema. How can you pass that up? So I'm looking forward to this next issue coming out next month. But in the meantime, you guys let me know what you think about the Silver Surfer. Is he one of your favorite characters? Do you like him? Do you not like him? And where do you fall on these facsimile books? Do you think they're a good idea or not so much? I think it's great, personally, because you can get your hands on something like this. And if you just want to read the story, if you're not worried about whether it's brand new or whether it's a facsimile, then these are the perfect things to have. And you're paying $7, but you're paying $7 versus $700 or $1,000 for a lot of these early Silver Surfer books. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm enjoying bringing this content to you. So, have a wonderful time, a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you in the next video.